but you're amazing. You're amazing. Well, hey, words can never adequately convey everything you're giving to me today. But holding you is better than a holiday, and leaving you, I dread it like exam day. So at the risk of sounding kinda risque, everything to now has been the foreplay. Darling, I would follow you to Norway, or anywhere you want it, 'cause I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. One day, when we're getting wrinkly and our hair's grey, a rusty old banger in the driveway, one of us will maybe wear a toupee, but I will be in love with you.
Boom. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible impact makers. Who's excited for today? Come on. Isn't it fun? Like, we're literally from all over the world. We have Puerto Rico in the house. We got United States. We've got Germany. We've got Dubai. We've got Pacific Ocean. We're literally from everywhere, and people are still joining. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. You're on a roller coaster ride, you all. Absolutely amazing. And we've got a lot of new faces over here, right? Some people here are on the journey already for 4 weeks. They're halfway in their process to actually do their talk. Now, who am I talking about with a raise of hands? Right? And Maria as well, and there's some other people. Now, who's here for the first ever time is excited to present in 8 weeks from now, right? The beauty of this program is that when you are here for the first time in 4 weeks, you're going to actually see, witness, visualize how other people stand on stage, so you can see how this will happen for you as well. So instead of working towards this one big moment, isn't it cool that we kind of chuck it into half? So you have 4 weeks to prepare yourself and see what it's like, and 4 weeks to know what it's going to be like and help other people on the journey. And for everybody who's already 4 weeks on the journey, what you're going to notice, and this is the cool part of this, is that you might feel like that you're not there where you want to be. But when you see people who go through this journey for the first time, you're also going to recognize and see how much you've actually learned. Because who knows, and put a yes in the chat, if sometimes you can be a little bit hard on yourself and you can look at all the things you did not yet do, right? Especially with public speaking. I mean, you're all the brave ones that are willing to lean into a path that might not be conventional and might not be not nerve-wracking, right? Can I get I don't know, a peace sign if you feel like you're being courageous right now, and this is not like just a journey that's just easy for you, right? So we have Dr. Nicole here. She's done 2 TEDx talks. She's here leveling up her talk. And we have a lot of beginner speakers, right? So wherever you are on the journey, this is something that is going to take the next level of you. And if on this journey you don't feel stretched, then I will be worried. So know that every single piece of feeling on this journey is part of the whole process. And what I would love to do is I would love to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself right now in front of the whole group. Now, the stage that you're going to work towards, that's not just the only stage that you're going to have. You're going to have multiple stages in the time that we're here together. This is one of them, right? Introducing yourself. How many times are you able to introduce yourself in groups, in new groups? And what I want you to do is to come across with certainty. What I also want you to, who remembers the enrolling questions that we talked about during the challenge? Who of you is here to create a speaking impact with a raise of hands? All right, everybody, right? So we want to ask a question where 100% of the people, maybe in this audience, but in your future audience as well, is able to say yes to. So what we're going to do in a minute, you're going to introduce yourself and you're going to do that through an enrolling question. So who here is ready to make a speaking impact? With a raise of hands. Oh my God, everybody. Well, my name is Lori and I'm a public speaker and TEDx coach, and I help coaches and entrepreneurs become the authority in their industry by honing in their speaking presence, by creating a keynote, get on stages and monetize the stage, right? So I start with an enrolling question. I say, hey, who here, blah, 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 blah. And then I say, I am Lori and what I do is this. So before we're even going into the content, I want you to already start implementing. We're going to do this. I'm giving you 2 minutes to prepare, and then we're going to go throughout the whole room. So get ready, set, let's go. The last bit of time, don't overcomplicate it. The last 15 seconds. All right, that was the time. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Hands up, hands up. Keep them up until everybody does it. Don't let us wait. Don't let us wait. You got the perfect amount of time. Perfect. Amazing. By the way, as a speaker, you're the leader of attention, right? Sometimes I say, give me a piece, and I don't know why I did that. I mean, I can do whatever. But when we do this, like, it's not just to make fun. It's not just to create a smile on your face, because I want to have positive associations regarding speaking for you, right? Everything we do is with intention. But what we also want to do is, when I keep talking and some people are writing, are they going to listen to me? Yes or no? No. When they don't listen, and they're tuning out. Is it easier or harder to get them back on track? Easier or harder? It's harder. So we got to make sure that as speakers, we are the leader of attention and we are very intentional with that attention. So everything that we do, again, has intention. So once you get further on this journey, you can not just listen to what I say, but also how I do this. Kind of model it for yourself. So what we're going to do now is we're going to share your thing with the enrolling question and who you are and what you do. We're going to keep that short, okay? So it's not going to be more than 45 seconds per person. We've got more people than just you. And we're going to do it in the following way. I'm going to give the turn to someone. I'm going to throw the mic, so you got to catch it, okay? And then when you're finished, you're going to throw the mic to the next person, all right? So we're kind of having a chain of people. Make sense? All right, Nilsa, it's coming to you. Nilsa is a seasoned public speaking gamer. She's here for her 6th round or something. She's like, immersion is the way. So Nilsa, the mic is coming to you. 3, 2, 1.
Who here is a business owner who wants to make more, keep more? Because when you have more, you get to give and live more. Hi, my name is Nilsa Santiago, and I am a financial advisor, and I help business owners make the choices to get to that next level. I pass it over to Ivo. Hello, Ivo.
Hello, Nils. It's good to see you here and all you guys. I'm glad to be here. How many of you have the feeling sometimes that they're being stuck? And how many of you feel something of the thought, is this it? Well, I'm Ivo Knoll, and I help to give you back the clarity and to find your real strength within you, unleashing the energy to create the life that you are meant for. Isn't this wonderful? Isn't this compelling? And I throw the mic to Daphne.
Oh, very important deal. You got to really throw it. It's not just to say, yeah, there we go. Oh, you got to catch it. There you go. Good catch, Daphne. I saw that.
Thank you. Hi, who here has worried so much about finances to the point where you've just avoided it altogether because you just couldn't handle thinking about it? Okay. I'm Daphne, and I help people to discover their path to financial freedom, because my credentials are that I did it. I'm not a financial planner or anything like that, or a CPA, but I did what I thought was impossible, and with so many things stacked against me, and I did it. So I want to be able to empower other people to do the same. Who here thinks that's a great idea? I now pass this on to Sean Bradbury.
Excellent, thank you. Who here has ever had a hard time saying no? Who here has ever considered themselves as a people pleaser? My name is Sean Bradbury. As a life coach, I empower middle-aged single fathers not only to trust themselves, but identify their values, their priorities, and to set really healthy boundaries, and to really be their authentic self and just live free of guilt and live an authentic life. All right, I'm going to hit. Carolyn, you ready? It's coming.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Carolyn, and are you feeling stuck? Are you 40 and plus and feeling stuck in your life and maybe a little fearful? I help women who will get to break free from their feelings of aging, the fear of their aging, and define their future. And I want to create a life for you where you feel vibrant and alive. By the way, before Lori gets to say it, I'm going to say it because she says it every time. Do you know how old this woman is? Well, I'll be 79 next month. So I know how to do this. And are you ready? Are you ready to create the life of your dreams as you age? It can be awesome. I know it is. And I want to help you do that too. Thank you so much. And I'm passing it on. Oh, I want to say welcome, Laverne. I have been working for months to get her to take this class. I'm so proud of her. Mwah, Laverne, I pass it to you, Laverne.
Great rising, everyone. Who here is tired of taking medication? Or knows someone that is tired of taking medication? I am Laverne Dennis, a lifestyle transformation coach. I help boomers reclaim their energy, joy, and independence by creating simple, sustainable habits in nutrition, movement, and mindset to support and prevent management of chronic conditions without feeling overwhelmed or deprived. Are you ready? And I'll pass it on to Marie. Maria?
Hi. I thought there was a
Oh.
Marie in the room.
We gotta throw it, Laverne. Throw the mic.
My apologies. Here it comes, Maria.
There you go. Very important.
Hi. Who here believes that healing isn't just physical, it's emotional too? My name is Maria, and I'm a paramedical tattoo artist. I help breast cancer survivors feel whole again through areola restoration and scar camouflaging. So I joined the Academy because I want to use my voice to bring more awareness and hope and confidence to people who are healing from the inside out. So who here wants to go into a healing journey with me?
What do you want to throw it to, Maria? You're on mute right now.
I want to pass this on to Dr. Nicole Aliotto.
All right, thank you. All right. Who here wants to see schools be better so that students can be more successful? I want to see those schools be better. Hi, I'm Nicole Aliotto, author, speaker, and CEO, and I help schools transform their measurement practices so that school leaders can make better decisions and get better results. Who here is ready to get started? Mostly work with school leaders in my audiences, so that's the angle that I take on things. So that's my 2 cents. So I see that Monica's off camera. I know that she's off camera, but so I'm going to give her a second to get on camera. I'm going to go to Monica. Throw it.
You're on mute.
Okay, I'm not used to doing this on a phone. I'm like, where's the button? I am Monica Roseberry. I am basically a stage fright coach, and I work with people who have an important message they want to get out, but if they get on a stage, under a spotlight, in front of a camera, or even sometimes in a small talk conversation and they freeze, that's my happy place, and I fix stage fright fast.
Let's go. Monica is also here to support. So
Yeah.
you're going to see more of Monica's face.
And I can't see anybody to throw it to, so someone pick.
It's really important though, Monica. So maybe you want to throw it to Alex.
Okay,
Alex
I throw it to Alex. There you go.
Oh, it was a
Thank
big
you,
throw.
Lord. Yeah, all the way from the San Francisco airport.
It was
There we go.
all the way from the airport. Who here in the room had ever heard about the city of Dubai? Everybody, yay! I'm Alex, originally from Germany, living here since 17 years in the land of sand and unlimited possibilities, helping event organizers, delivering their ambitious and crazy ideas in the most safest way possible.
Let's go. You
That
want
was the
to?
last one, right?
Yeah. Would you mind throwing it back, Alex, so we can?
Oh, you can have
keep
it back,
going?
Lori, all the way to the Pacific or wherever you are.
I have no idea where I am, to be really honest. I'm just cruising.
Surrounded of water.
Yes. Absolutely amazing. So, who in this room was really focused on your own story? Was more focused on what you were going to share than listening to other people? I know it's more than zero. Right? What we're here to do together is that you want to embody what this feels like, right? You don't know when you're going to be next. And this is what the power of the stage really is, right? Even though we're working towards a stage moment, what I want you to get ready for is to be ready anywhere for anyone, anytime, where you're able to engage people. Now, specifically with these enrolling questions, and you want to write these down, is you want to make sure that 100% of the room is able to say yes to that question. Now, why is that? Why is that? When you speak in front of 100 people and just 50% of the room will say yes to that question, you're going to lose half of the people from second one. And we don't want to do that. So number one is you want to make sure that 100% of the room is able to say yes to. So for example, what Nicole did is like, who here wants the school system to be better? It's like, who can say no to that? Everybody wants to say yes to that, right? And what is really important as well, and I share this a little bit in the challenge as well, is we don't want to point at people. So when I say, who here is afraid of public speaking? And who here feels scared of it? It's like kind of like two of the similar questions. They're both negative, right? It's not so fun to say yes to this. So what you can do is to scope a future pace, right? Of a future vision. So even though people might recognize I'm afraid, I can do it a little bit like this. Who here is afraid of public speaking? Some of you, but who here is ready to go to their next level regarding public speaking, depending on how you feel, right? So now I kind of give them awareness of, if you're afraid, it's not okay, it's not a problem. But what I'm here to talk about is wherever you are, who's ready for their next level. So now we're scoping something positive, and everybody can say yes to this. So for example, if we're doing something around mindset, right? Like, who here feels that they're not living full potential? And who here is excited to crush the ceiling and go to a place that you've never been before, as wild as your wildest dreams? Okay, right? So we can, but I can also say, who feels trapped in life and is annoyed by how they're thinking, right? So now we're basically saying the same thing, we're doing it in different ways. So we just want to make sure that 100% of the room is able to say yes, and we always want to scope it in a thing that people want, so we're not pointing fingers. So what we're going to do now is you're going to get 2 minutes again, and what I want you to think of is, what do you feel right now is the biggest gap to where you are right now and where you want to go, right? Depending if you've done talks and talks and talks and talks, or this is the first time, there's always a gap. And you want to be aware of what that gap is, because if you are here to participate and to just listen what I'm saying, we're not doing this right, right? You want to be aware of what your gap is, and you want to be responsible to fill that gap. We're here to answer any question you have, but you got to be mindful of what it is that you want to get out of this. So you get 2 minutes on the clock again. And write down, what is the biggest gap of where you are right now? Right? Even though you've done this maybe a couple of rounds, what is your biggest gap right now of where you are and where you want to go? In other words, what's the biggest opportunity that you see? When you focus on this part, oh my goody badooties. The world needs to get ready. So what is your biggest obstacle right now? Is it the storytelling? Is it the engagement? Is it what your story is actually about? Are you getting more advanced and you're like, I want to understand open loops? What is it for you? All right. We're going to do this in the same way. And we're going to do this very short and powerful. Either 1 or 2 sentences. And I'm going to throw the mic first and foremost to you, Alex.
Now you catched me. I think the biggest gaps I have is I'm working since 30 years behind the stage, in the backstage, and building all these stages. So this is one thing in my head, probably I don't belong on them. And the other thing is getting my message clearly transported to the audience. And the question in my mind, do I have actually something to tell?
Beautiful.
I think these are the biggest chokeholds.
Beautiful. You can throw the mic to someone else.
Sean.
Thank you, Alex. I would say a few things in my gap. It's definitely clarifying my story and message. There's multiple stories I have there, but they just need to truly have a through line to get there. One of the things that Lori just spoke to is just to be ready to speak at any time. Sometimes I'm tongue tied when people ask me what I do, and I don't really have that message straightforward down to have it come out clear and concise. And just understanding better questions for total engagement, like we were just working on. I realized that both of mine to start this exercise were probably more on the negative side than the kind of the aspiring to. So that's mine. And I'm going to give this one over to Maria. You ready, Maria? It's come.
Okay, my biggest obstacle, I guess fear and vulnerability is one of them, because I feel like sharing emotional or my personal stories can feel like exposing, and especially when they involve like pain and healing and trauma. So I probably worry about getting too emotional or how others will perceive my story. Perfectionism, I guess. I want my speech to be flawless. The tone and pacing of my emotion might hold me back from just being myself. And the fear of judgment. So that inner voice inside me that says, what if I mess up? What if they don't connect with me? You know what I mean? So so those things can hold me back. Those are my obstacles. I throw it to Daphne.
I knew you were going to call my name. There's just trying to organize all my thoughts into what I want to say. It has been the through line of, so the ultimate goal is to be, not just to be on stage, but to have that confidence to know I can do it. I can see myself there. I can see myself succeeding. And there are so many moving parts and I'm trying to put it all together. So where I am now is more of like a state of construction. And where I want to be is, the finished product of me having a successful, not just a successful speech, but a successful business where I'm helping others. So that's, where I am now and where I want to be. I feel like it's a gigantic gap, but I believe in myself. I know I can do it eventually, and I have the patience and perseverance to do it. So I pass let's see who's on here, to Coach Vern.
My biggest gap is that I feel like I don't know enough. And I've gone through that phase of feeling like I don't know enough. But then I realize that it's not that I don't know enough, is that I feel that in my presentations, if I'm asked questions, then I'll be uncomfortable if I don't have the right answer. So I don't know how to deflect if I don't have the right answer. That's always causes me anxiety, literally. And so with that, I'm looking for a way to present, to be polished, and to also feel comfortable in not knowing and having and saying, I will do the research, or I'll get some information, or whatever that is. That is one of my biggest concern right now. And I will throw the mic to Evo.
Thank you, Ron. My biggest gap is having clarity about my story and my message. But at the end, I want to have fun, enjoying to connect with the audience. And since the mic is already open, I throw the mic to Caroline. Chip, 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 chip.
Thank you, Evo. Laurie already knows my problem. My problem is my confidence in not using my script. It's like my safety net. And I know, and I've had, actually in the last week, I've had a real aha moment, a real coming to that I need to just trust myself and speak from my heart. I was a dentist, and everything I had to do was be perfect. A millimeter is a mistake. It's a huge mistake. So I've been trained all my life to be perfect. This is not the place to be perfect. This is the place to be heartful. And it's a real transition for me to get there. But I'm doing it, Lori. I promise you, and I promise myself that I'm going to do it. Thank you.
That's beautiful, Carolyn. What do you want to throw the mic at? We can see you, we cannot hear you right now, Carolyn.
I just saw Monica at the very bottom here. I would love to throw it to Monica.
Monica's okay, right? Monica's here to support, and she's not available right now.
Oh, okay. Then I'll throw it to Dr. Nicole.
Sorry, can you hang on? Our dog had puppies and I need to monitor them. So can I throw it to Nilsa?
Okay, my biggest gap is understanding that my role as the speaker is to that the audience is seen. That's important, that they've received their transformation. Therefore, I have to create clarity for myself so I could create clarity for them. So there's a gap. I cannot get into the weeds of finances at the beginning until I have their attention so I could start dumping finance terminology on them. So yes, the audience must be seen. And that's a gap that has to happen to create the transformation. Gonna throw it back to Lori.
Yes, I'm gonna go right back to Dr. Nicole. There you are.
Okay, so I was going to mention that quickly. Sorry, our dog had puppies yesterday, and so I'm trying to be supportive and attentive. I apologize for the distraction. So I would say my biggest gap is going from informational to transformational. I think I've learned that I give good information. I get the feedback that people learn something, they find something valuable. But I feel like I'm not crossing the line strongly enough to be transformational because I'm not booking gigs from the speaking engagement. So I feel like that's something that I'm looking to tighten up through this process, but I don't want to cross the line into being an inspirational speaker because much of the work in schools is they need to come away with some sort of educational experience because they're being paid to get something educational from the session. So that's where I'm trying to find that balance through this. That's my gap.
Yeah, so good, so good. And
Back
what a
to you.
beautiful commitment. Thank you. Thank you. And when we're talking about those 3 levels, I just want to acknowledge some people because you all, and this is really important, right? These sessions, they're interactive and we're going to do stuff together. I want you to do this. This is not like me lecturing about theory because that's a waste of our time because we can implement it together. You all have access to the theory, right? So when we're talking about the 3 levels of speaking and you don't know exactly what that means, it's all explained in the course, right? And I saw Alex, you already logged in. Daphne, you already did ton. Sean, you went into it. Carolyn is crushing it. Nilsa is crushing it. Maria is already in, right? So we want to make sure that we're logging into that portal and we want to, and yeah, I think I mentioned everybody. And that you watch those 4 hours, right? Who's committed on completing those 4 hours of training before we see each other next Tuesday? Right? Because that's going to give you the backbone of information, of structure that you need for this place. That way we're able to leverage the time together to really get stuff done. Would that make sense? Right? So that way you can also ask more specific questions because you're actually doing the work based on the information that we're all having, right? So what a really, really important part of this all is. And I hope that when you share this, you have clarity for yourself, but you also recognize that the questions there's a very common theme in them, right? On one side, we have the clarity on what your message is. On one side, we have the impact that information that was going to make, right? How is this going to land for your audience? And then over top is like, okay, how do I have the confidence that this is good enough, right? When Laverne, when you said, like, do I know enough? right? Do I know enough? Who here feels that maybe their story or their knowledge is sometimes just not good enough for the stage? I'm certain that you're not alone in this. And what this what this journey is all about is that you are enough. You really are. And I think the fact that I'm so incredibly good in this is that I love my own imperfections and I embrace them and I use them. Right? It's not something I leave out. I really don't know everything about public speaking, you guys. Like, if I would say that, that would be so ignorant of me. I don't know what I don't know. I'm just always committed to the journey to learn what I don't know. And I'm always curious to take that step. And that's the only thing we need to do. And you might want to write this down, and I shared this before, is the rules of success that you have determine whether or not you're going to be successful. So if our rule is we need to memorize everything by word, and if we don't do it, then I have to write a script because otherwise I fail, that's going to be a challenging rule, you know. I forget stuff all the time. You will just never notice. Right? I don't stand still with it. I don't pay attention to it. I'm looking for what I'm here to contribute. If your rule of success is that everybody in the audience is going to love what you share, you're going to have a tough time too. You're going to have a tough time too. But if the rule of success here is that every single time you're going to ask the questions that you have and raise your hand when you want to share something, like, that's pretty dope. That's the behavior that's going to get you there. And Maria, I just want to acknowledge you because what you shared is probably what a lot of people want. And that's what you said is, I'm afraid that I'm going to be emotional. It's like, how amazing that you're in touch with your feelings and you can express them. What we're looking for is speakers sometimes, you know, when we're looking at those rules of success, we want to have the best story. We're looking at like those TEDx talks that went viral, and we're looking for the framework, right? And the framework you have, you have access to the framework. You don't need more than those 4 hours. You don't. You really don't. And where this comes fun is when you're willing, when you're committing to, I'm going to make the framework, not Lori's, I'm going to make them mine. I'm going to put my juice over it. By the way, when Sean was sharing, who felt his energy with a raise of hands? Who felt his calmness, his presence, right? He's in tune with himself right now when he shares, right? And what you're going to learn is how you're going to be able to leverage this through storytelling. That it's not just one story that's going to magnify everything, or that's your perfect story. It's parts of who you are and different scenes of your life, so people understand more of who you are. So Maria, when you share, like, I hope I'm not going to be emotional, maybe a question we could ask is, how can you leverage those emotions while you're on stage and feel safe with them yourself? Because who here saw a speaker where they did feel emotional, but they touched you through the bone, right? It's not the best script that makes the best speaker. It's the best connection that they're able to make with their audience and connect it, Nicole, with information. Right? Even though people get paid for information, what they're really looking for is information that sticks. So when we can be the leader of attention, when we can be the leader of conversation, and we can tell our client what it is that they're actually looking for, not to convince them, just like an audience, but you connect with where they are now. I understand that this is what you're looking for. So does it make sense if I do it in this way? And you're going to help them and you're going to guide them in the conversation, because they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they want. The same with their audience. Who's been with people, who has spoken in front of people, who has connected with people where you know you can help them. You know they're their perfect audience. They just don't recognize it, right? They don't see that you're the solution, even though you're like, oh my God, like, how can you not see this? Right? That is what this is about. This is about connecting where people are right now and delivering the solution in a way that's digestible for them in that moment. And a really important piece, and we're going to dive into some theory that you will watch as well when you go through the course, or you already know. And that is that with the power of storytelling, what we want to do is we want to be mindful of what specific stories we're using and why. Now, I'm going to lean on the people that already watched the course or that are in this journey for a while. When we're talking about stories, there's basically 3 different buckets of stories that we can pull from. What are they? You can unmute yourself. You don't need to use the chat.
Coolness, community, and credibility. Credibility.
Let's go. Let's go. So please, Nilsa, we're going to do this together. We're going to tag team on this one. So what we always want to do, we're going to there's replays for all of this, by the way, you guys. You're able to watch this back. When you want someone to write something down, you want to make sure that you share the information and then you're going to say it again. Every single time you say something twice, people will write it down. So Nilsa, please share them again. Share them the first time fast, so you give the answer. And then the second time that you're sharing, you share the exact same thing, but then you pause a little bit in between because you know people will write it down. Now go do it. Nilsa,
Okay.
what are the 3 buckets?
So Lori talked about the power of storytelling. So when we choose our stories, we look for stories that, 1, credibility. So people know who we are. 2, community. That makes it fun, that connects us with the audience. And 3, coolness. That also connects us with the audience. Credibility, coolness, and connection. No, credibility, coolness, and community.
Good. Super good. Right? So any time you want someone to write something down, how I will do is, okay, the 3 buckets are credibility, coolness, and community. The 3 buckets are credibility, coolness, and credibility and community. Right? So anytime you want someone to write something down, you're going to say it first, and then you're giving them a second time and you give them some space to write it down. I'm not asking you to write this down. Sometimes I say, okay, write this down. But anytime you say something twice and you do it in this way, you will notice that people will start to write it down. This, by the way, is also a beautiful way to get them back into the now when they wandered off. Does it make sense that when we let someone write something down or we say it twice and we pay attention on our pace the second time, that people will be with you in that moment again? Does that make sense? Beautiful. Now, the reason why we have these 3 buckets is because at the end of our talk, we want to accomplish some goals. And one of those goals is everything you just said, I trust that it is actually true. I trust that you are the expert and whatever you said, I can actually trust that it's true. Right? So with credibility, we want to make sure that people see us as the expert. I'm going to give some examples in a little bit and you're going to think of them for yourself. What we also want to accomplish is I don't just know that I can trust your information. I also know that I can trust you. You have some values where I feel safe. The reason why we do community is not just to be a hugging group, but the reason for that is to share, we have values in common. We have values in common, and I want you to know that you're safe with me. Right? When Alex said, I want to help our clients do it in the safest way possible, in order for them to feel that he can do that, they first need to feel safe with you. And you can do that through the way you communicate. We're going to dive into that in a little bit. And then the thing that we also want to establish is, okay, Carolyn helps to stay young forever, right? We also heard Laverne, who's helping with lifestyle, right? Evo is doing lifestyle, even though it's maybe not with food and fitness. It's maybe more mental health, wellness, right? So we've got a lot of wellness. So now how are they going to stick with you? How can we live in a world of abundance and not in a place of lack? And that is because of bucket of coolness. Coolness means nothing more than what is now specific about you. And what I just shared about Sean, and I thought it was really beautiful, Sean, like when you share, you have some sort of presence with you. And that presence is already coolness, right? Don't get too far with the word coolness. Coolness means what is different about you? What is different about you than other people? What I noticed, Sean, was your presence. But there's other things. Nicole just shared about her puppies. It says something about her, right? It says something about her. And let's do it actually as a common exercise. Nicole helps, and this is the information we got. We got nothing more. She got CEOs in schools. That's her target group. And then she just shared that she has puppies. Now, what character traits, you guys, and put it in the chat, what character traits come up when you think about Dr. Nicole, not just Nicole, Dr. Nicole, who helps CEOs of schools? Just that information. So no puppies yet. I'm just talking about Dr. Nicole, school system, CEO. When I'm talking about those words, what character traits come up? A big heart, sense of care. What else? Authority. There we go, Evo. It shows a lot of authority. What else? Put it in chat, you guys. Passion. There we go. Experience. There we go. Intelligence. There we go. Perseverance. Now we're talking. Commitment, right? Education, future focus, passionate. Okay, now let's do the same exact thing, but now we don't have Dr. Nicole, we have Nicole, and Nicole just has new puppies. And she's in a speaking class, and she actually goes out because she wants to take care of her lab assistants. What character traits do you connect with those? Loving, love and kindness, loving and caring, caring heart, compassion. Do we see that those are very different, right? Different emotions. Nicole, when you're sharing, like, I'm actually pretty damn good on the stage and I can educate people really well. Yet I don't get referrals and further gigs and maybe not the full connection with the audience that you're longing for. What we're going to see is that for every single one of you, one bucket is your comfort zone. And for some of you, it might be credibility, because now it doesn't need to be personal. But for some of you, you'd rather be personal because you don't want to brag. You don't want to brag about your profession. You don't want to share how amazing you actually are and what you actually have accomplished, right? And you're so noble, but you're doing your audience a disservice because they might not trust you because you're not willing to share how good you are. So what we are here to do is to get first and foremost awareness of what bucket is most comfortable to you. And what I want you to do is lean into the one right now that might be less uncomfortable, or where you would see there's least amount of focus. Because what we want to make sure of is all three elements are around equally presented. And I'll give you some examples of my 3 different buckets and what I can put into it, just to give you an idea. Because in a minute, you're going to have 3 minutes of focus time. And you're going to see, you're going to focus on which of these 3 buckets do I feel is my biggest area of growth. number one. And number two, what you're going to think of is what elements of myself would fit into this bucket. So when I would, for example, share all three of them, what I sometimes share around credibility is TEDx, right? Who trusted me more because I'm connected with a TEDx brand, right? And you associate credibility with the TEDx brand. Now, if I would not share that, you might have less confidence in my abilities, even though the abilities stayed the same. So I use TEDx. What I sometimes also use is I am an international speaker, right? So it's not just national, it's international. And then I share some examples. I use the one where I collaborate with people who already have more authority than me. For example, Dean Graziosi or Nick Santanastasso, right? I work with them. I teach for them. Now that is a credibility. It can also be, credibility can also be, I went through this myself. Credibility can also be, and Nicole, you did this, I'm an author, right? I wrote a book. You can leverage other areas of your accomplishment. I am a certified something. I helped these amount of people, right? Maybe it's a client story. So if you feel really uncomfortable bragging about yourself, then brag about the results that you or your team create for other people. Make sense? Now, community. Community, again, is nothing more than we share values. So when you share the people you're hanging out with, you create new associations. And one that I love to use is my grandmother. I love my grandmother. And it creates a very different emotion for people than when I share TEDx, right? Lori, creative, enthusiastic. Oh my God, a lot of energy. Overwhelming sometimes for some people. Credibility, stage, big, 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 big. And then there's grandma, right? Do we see that that creates a different type of energy, a different type of emotion? What we want to make sure of is that people through our talk not just get an understanding of our topic, but also get a well-rounded view of who we are as a person. Because who do people say yes to? Who do people want to refer to another stage? It's people. Absolute people. So when you share a little bit about who you are, exactly, Alex, people like themselves, or they aspire to be, right? So we want to make sure that people understand a little bit of our own principles, and we don't want to lecture them because that's not how the brain is wired. We want to create visuals and experience for them so they go through that themselves. So with community, what are people in your community? What people will create, will through those people are going to learn more about you and your values. And it can be a grandmother, it can be a spouse, it can be a friend, that can be a community. So Maria, when you share about breast cancer community, that could be a community, right? And then the last one, the coolness piece, is what's special about you, what's unique about you. Now, right now, when you go to my social media, trust me that for a whole month, I'm going to over leverage this whole cruise situation. And I'm going to mention it everywhere all the time, right? Because it's so cool. It's so different, right? Who knows a speaking coach who's on a cruise speaking? I think that's super cool, right? So now that's a coolness piece that I will leverage. But sometimes I do it different. Like when I'm in the Netherlands and I speak in front of a Dutch crowd, I will say, well, I just came back from America. They'll be like, oh my God, she goes to America. But when I'm in America, I'm like, I'm from the Netherlands, or I travel for, so it's coolness means something different in every single place. It can be I loved swimming as a kid. It could be I love spaghetti bolognese. It can be all different things that says something about you specifically. What you're going to notice is when people are able to relate to something you're sharing. By the way, who resonated with Nicole more because you know she has puppies? Who felt like, oh, Nilsa was very excited. Look at this. Look at this, right? So maybe part of you is like, yeah, but what does it have to do with my talk? Maybe it has nothing to do with your topic, but that's not the goal. The outcome that we're looking for is that people trust our information, learn something, they trust us as a person, and they feel safe. So when, Nicole, you share something about puppies, what is going to happen is that the people just raise their hand. I know for a fact, I know Nilsa a little bit more because I've listened to so many of her stories because we've been working for a while. She had at some point 15 dogs. 15 dogs. So when someone talks about dogs, something in her heart is opening up. Something in her heart is opening up because you just share about dogs. So when you share about dogs, she will take you more seriously. She will pay more attention because a part of her emotional brain is activated. And that's what we are looking for. So instead of thinking, oh, what is our message? What is our story? We need clarity. We're going to build the script. What I want you to do is to think, okay, there's some outcomes that I want to achieve. And I can do it in a way that feels comfortable to me. And what's really important is to make sure that I have these 3 buckets in my stories. How many buckets? Show it with your fingers. 3 buckets. By the way, I noticed that the internet sometimes is a little unstable. This is also my way of letting you participate so I can see we're still in sync, right? All the things we do have intention. Everything we do have intention. As a speaker, you're the leader of attention and you always want to be in control. Also when the external circumstances are not optimal. Does it make sense? Do we see it's not so much about if you're good enough, yes or no, but how you're using what you have. So what we're going to do now is we'll put 3 minutes on the clock. And I want you to think, which of these 3 buckets do you feel you're not leaning into most? I just want to share that mostly for a lot of people, it's going to be coolness. It's going to be coolness. For some of you, might be credibility. So focus on which of these do I feel less excited, least excited to share about. And then when you have that topic, who already knows which topic you need to focus on with a raise of hands? Who knows for a fact that which one is most uncomfortable to you? Right? You want to focus on that one and you have 3 minutes on the clock to start thinking about specific elements that could fit into that bucket. All right? Let's go. All right. Who got some clarity for yourself? Who got some ideas, right? What we're going to do now is you're going to share the bucket that you focused on, and then you're going to share the elements that are part of that. We're not going to do this in a full group. We're going to do that in breakout rooms. You will be with one other person, and we want to start to kind of like just riff and share. And when we come back, what we're going to do is you're going to, we might not do shares for everybody, but you're going to share about the person that you listen to. And you're going to share how incredibly credible you think they are, how super cool you think they are, and how much connected you feel through the community because you listened to what they were sharing. What you're going to notice is that in your mind, you're like, are puppies that cool? I mean, I just got that by whatever, right? We undervalue the value that we have because of the law of familiarity, right? When we get familiar with something and it's normal to you, doesn't mean that it's not incredibly inspiring to someone else. And sometimes it can just literally be, I love pasta bolognese, right? That can already be enough. You don't need to, put feathers in your hair or, like glitters on your skin to be cool. You're cool as it is. It's just about recognizing. And sometimes, oh, there we go, 5 ducks and 7 puppies. Nilsa is so excited. We might need to change the breakout room groups and make sure Nilsa and Dr. Nicole, you're together. You won't be together, but you're all gonna have a good time. You're going to have 8 minutes in total. All right, 8 minutes in total for you as a duo. So how many minutes would that be per person? Oh my God, you're all wizards. Insane. You're all credible. 4 minutes per person. So make sure you both have the time to share. You're going to share the bucket you chose. You're going to share about that information. And if you have a little bit more time, feel free to cover all 3 of the buckets. When we will come back, we're going to implement that all together. So let's get ready. Let's get set. The breakout rooms are open right now. See you back in 8.
fill my head, a million dreams keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, on my head, a million dreams keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you'll bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome, welcome back. Please put an emoji in the chat on how that was for you, this experience. Let's go. Informative, fun and helpful. Let's go. All right, now I'm going to point at some people. Alex, what is so epic about Evo? Tell us.
Who would have thought that Evo is actually a survival trainer?
Who would have thought? No one here.
So no one here. So Evo is really cool, I have to say. I will definitely visit him in his farm in Costa Rica and help him harvest his delicious food, what he has grown by himself. And maybe on his trip to New Zealand, he will stop in Dubai and we fire up my pizza oven and I cook some homemade pizza.
Wow. So what did you learn about Evo? He lives in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
He was a survival trainer.
Is still.
He is a survival trainer. That is, I mean, that has to be somewhere. That has to be in something. This is amazing. What else?
He has a farm and grows food and plant. He has trees for whatever, creating healthy food. What comes from the without pesticides and whatever. I don't know how to name this. Bio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
then that's basically is already something we figured out that organic is the right word. Yes, organic.
yeah.
Thanks, Ivo. Yeah, so this is definitely something. He said he doesn't mention this because he doesn't like to share a lot of his private stuff. But I said to him that's so awesome, and this many people could know about you to connect more on a personal level. I was
Yes, isn't
directly
that?
connected. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yes, isn't
what
that
was
fun?
really cool is when he started, I completely stopped thinking about what I would tell him next in my 4 minutes. I was really engaged.
Isn't that fun? Right? When we're
Yeah.
talking about getting and Evo, this is your topic, right? Like from basically from stuck to unstuck. Like sometimes we are using these generalizations. We're talking about health. We're talking about education. We're talking about wealth. It's like there's all these beautiful things that we all know what it means, but it doesn't do anything to our soul, it doesn't do anything to our nervous system, it doesn't do anything to our heart. It's not really getting into a place where we actually will remember. But when we connect the stuck to unstuck message to stories that we are able to see, that we're able to experience, where we're also learning something more about who you are as a person, now it gets exciting. Now it gets fun. Now it gets engaging. So do we see that we all want Evo to share something about Costa Rica in his talk? Then it says a lot about him. But then on the other side, he's a survival trainer. I'm like, what? Right? Now there's interest. There is like, oh, this is a person, right? This is not someone who talks about generalization. This is actually a person that has an incredible, fascinating life that now I get curious about to learn more. So it's not so much that we want to share all this detailed information for our audience to understand who we are as a person fully. It's more for our audience to actually remember the topics that we're talking about, and they also feel that they can trust us with that information because we're actually human beings. Now I want to hear another one. Nicole, what was so epic about Daphne?
We had a neat conversation about her experiences. She's had kind of the only college graduate in her family, and she started her own business, and she's got a third-degree black belt in like Aikido. I don't know if Aikido, if I said it right. It's pretty fascinating. It turned out that her dad did it, and I think your dad did it, and he was blind and also taught it and started his own business. So she's got this family history of, fighting through different, challenges and accomplishing all of these really interesting tasks and accomplishments, and she's kind of taken that on as well. And part of her successes that she's been able to accomplish is that she had some challenges where she was in a situation and it wasn't a successful relationship, and part of that also led her to find that she needed to get in a better financial place, and as part of that she was able to straighten out her finances and retire early. And as part of that story and retiring early, she's got a lot that she can share in terms of what she's learned from her own experiences. And I think it's interesting. I said to me, like, that's something that anyone can resonate with. Everybody's had relationships that have kind of sucked the finances out of them, and that once they've gotten out of those places, they've learned a lot. And just to her experiences, I feel like it's this like relationship roller coaster that's led to like us like retirement, better retirement situation. And so we were like playing around with like alliteration, and I just feel like she's got this through line of a great family story, and these what would seem like these challenges and barriers that have led to being able to accomplish really unique and interesting things throughout her family and her own life. And now she's got this great family structure. She's got grown children. She's got her own business. She's got grandchildren, and she's ready to share how other people can also be successful with their finances and learn from what she's been able to accomplish. So I'm excited to hear her talk.
Let's go. Let's go. Who got
Yeah.
goosebumps as well just listening to someone else talking about someone else? Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Right? Sometimes you undervalue your value because it's so normal to you. But when you hear it from someone else, you're like, oh my God, this is so special. This is so special. And this is for Laverne in the replay as well. It's right. Like Daphne, you shared, like, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a tax planner, I actually did it myself, and I'm pretty passionate about helping other people. Like, when we come from that place, what can lack is the credibility or the trust in yourself that you lack the credibility. But who feels just by the story that Daphne is credible? Who feels, not only understand, but feels that her sharing that she's a black belt something that I'm not able to repeat because I forgot the name, adds to her credibility as a human, right? Aikido, thank you. So do we see that these buckets, we can kind of play around with them, right? When Daphne shares something about her own experience of finances, but then adds Aikido into this, we now see her as a more trustworthy person, even though she doesn't say, I'm an official CPA. This is where we can play around with these different buckets. And then when we add, children, grandchildren, or did I hear correct that your dad was blind and he still taught you? I mean, that says so much about you. That says so much about you. What are some character traits of being a kid with a father who was blind, who is blind? What does it say about her? Please put that in the chat. Look at that. Daphne, this is who you are. This is when we're willing to share those details about ourselves because people are able to see a part of us that we are. It's just when we share just one part, they always see that one part. But it's not that part that's going to be most compelling. It's the contrast that's what's most compelling. Because when you just share Aikido and resilience and this, now you become this strong, independent woman that for some people it might be a little intimidating. But then when you share something about your grandchildren, it's like, oh, now there's a soft spot, right? So now we create different kind of emotions. It's what we just said about Nicole, with puppies and like the credibility. It creates some like different energy, and that different energy, that is magnetic. The contrast is what pulls. It was like, what did I get myself into? I didn't think we were talking about coolness today. Thank you for being honest. But who's having a great time and learning some dope things that will not only help you to become a great speaker, but a great communicator in general? What I want for you is that you're not just shining on a stage in either 4 weeks or 8 weeks, but that you see the stage everywhere and that you're able to share from the heart and yet still compelling and clear. And that clarity is going to come. But I don't want you to start with clarity because that you can wait for clarity and then move forward. It's like this forever loop. But just recognize how incredible your story is by just you having those 3 buckets. And what if that's actually enough? We're going to dive in more of that. What I want you to do is to watch the videos. If you already have watched the videos, feel invited to watch them again. Really, repetition is the mother of all skill. And this is, this is 15 years of obsession built into 4 hours that took me a whole month to record. Like, every single second is valuable. So watch it. Who's committed? Again, you already said it, but who's really committed to completely finish the entire 4 hours before we see each other next? Absolutely amazing. Now, would it also be okay if I share some things that you can expect on this journey, so you have a vision and you know what's coming, right? Some people already went through this, and you're going to see this again. And for some of you, this will give a lot of clarity, because who's excited to learn a little bit more about the gig, to know what you're working towards, right? So what is going to happen, and you actually already have this, right? Who already saw their personal blueprint? And I will share actually Maria's, because Maria, she filled it in. She really filled it in. She went for it. So Maria, I'm gonna show your blueprint just for the sake of this. When you go through this course, when you go through these workshops, you have your own personal speaking blueprint. It's not the goal to fill it in so perfectly that now you're like, oh my God, Laura's gonna give me so much compliments, just like Maria's now getting, because I did it so perfectly. This is more a place where you can put all your thoughts in, so you have it in one place, not just in one place that we're able to see as well. So when you have some questions, we can easily pull up your notes and the stuff that you put down, so we're able to help you better. Now, this is what it looks like for Maria, right? You have this, and then she filled in her name, the ideal name of her talk, her bio. She already added a photo. I'm going to explain why that is so important in a second. She is talking about her aim. This has a lot to do with the clarity, the now and the new, 3 teaching points, the specific steps that you want to go through to create your talk, to create the foundation of your talk. Then the story buckets that we talked about today, right? We have them here. You're going to choose specific stories and you're going to see, oh, did I fit in the credibility? Did I fit in the community? Do I fit in the coolness? And you're going to create your own story library to store a lot of different stories. Some of you might use, some of you might not. But that's the beauty. You're not going to have one talk that you need to use forever. You're learning a framework and you're able to adapt when you want to. That's what I want for you. I want you to feel so free that you know, I got it. I got the clarity anywhere I go. I got the compelling connection wherever I go. Because can we agree that like what I just shared is my coolness will change depending on the audience, right? So it's not one story you need to stick with forever. It's an understanding of how this works so you can change it as you go. You glue it all together with an opening, with a close, and then you have some beautiful transitions. So this is the place where you can just pour down your information for again, not waiting till week 8. Please trust me when I say this. Don't wait till week 8 until you're going to finalize all of these things. And maybe Nilsa, after I finish this, you can share a little bit of how you've experienced it, and Carolyn, you as well, right? Because you've already done the gig, so you can share your own experience with everybody. So fill in your framework and help us help you. Like, we're really here to help you, but don't wait until week 7 to ask your questions. Don't push it all the way in front. Can we agree that next week you're going to come with questions if you have them? If you don't, congratulations. But you're going to get a lot from other people asking questions. Trust me, because sometimes just you don't even know what to ask. So when you have a question, please ask it. Don't ask it to me privately. Don't ask it to the team privately. Ask it in the group, because other people are going to learn from them. Can we agree on that? The place is the WhatsApp group. And I think everybody's in the WhatsApp group now, right? Everybody's in the Public Speaking Academy WhatsApp group. Perfect. So what I want to show you as well is what it's going to look like in week 8. Because in week 8, you are going to share your story in front of real people. Now, these real people are people from this community, right? Graduates from the Public Speaking Academy, and anyone you want to invite to that. So you can share it with friends and family because you're proud, but you can also share this with potential clients because you'll actually be on a stage and you're able to share a gift with them. Right? So that way they can start to get into your world. And we had people that the sister of one person who invited started to buy the product of someone else. So just know that this is like, your audience is always there. The stage is always there. We just got to understand how to strategically leverage it. And this is what that's going to look like. Let me open that up. Just for the visual people amongst us, so you have at least a little idea of what you can expect. The people will be able to go to this page, and on this page they will meet the speakers. So the reason why we want your photo, and we want it as soon as possible, is because there will be a page with your photo on it, and you don't want to be the one without a photo. You don't want to be the one without a title, right? So make sure you fill that in the blueprint. And It will be streamed on this page, and it will be able to watch through a streaming platform, and it will be streamed on YouTube. So everybody is going to be able to watch it live, and they're going to see it like this. Right now it's the replay. And this is then what it looks like. There's Nilsa crushing it. So just know that that is what we're working towards, but it's not this one finalized moment where everything needs to be perfect and this is the only time that you're ever going to perform, and now all the pressure is on that moment. This moment is for you to have a specific end result and not to say, oh, Lori, I learned so many things, I'm so grateful, thank you, and then I'll do something with it because now it gets uncomfortable. The reason why we do this is because we want you to go through that whole process, to experience the uncomfort. And Carolyn and Nilsa, can we get a head nod if it got uncomfortable, right? It's not like, oh, you need to be this perfect person and not have emotions. No, you're gonna get uncomfortable. You're gonna freak out. We had people that puked on the day they had to do this. Now, I'm not saying this is gonna happen for you, but what we do say is we are a community. We're gonna not let you not do it. We're here for you. Who knows for a fact that the person in the breakout room also already had a special place in your heart right now? You're not going to let them behind, right? That is what this is about. That is what this is about. So with that said, you have the absolute awesome opportunity to have a bonus of seeing me prepare my own talk, right? You just got the invitation. It will be coming Thursday. It's very last minute because the talk is actually on Saturday. So, I mean, there's not a lot of time before. If you're not able to join their live, just don't feel that you're missing out. You're going to get the replay. What you're going to experience is I am going to do a talk live, and I'm going to share with you how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to show you how I prepare so you can learn of how my brain works and how I implement the knowledge that you are learning as well. And then afterwards, you're going to see what I actually did. And then afterwards, you're going to get my own reflection from it. And the reason why I wanted to share this with you is not just because I think it's honestly the dopest bonus I've ever given away. I think this is really going to be super valuable, but also to see that I'm not perfect. Sometimes when you look at a teacher, you put them on a pedestal. Like, don't do that. Like, we're all on the same journey. I'm just in this journey longer, and I've more experience, but I'm also not perfect. So you're going to see that there's something I prepared, something that I did, which will be different than I prepared. And something when I look back, I'm like, I could have done that different when I would have done this and this and this and this. So, but you going through this, I know. I mean, I am pretty damn perfect, just not fully. Yeah. So you all got access to that. You all got an email about it this morning. So you got it in your calendar. It's for coming Thursday. So know that's there. Know that we have the gig coming up. And know one last thing is when you log into your portal, which a lot of you already done, and start watching the course, you're also going to notice that there is another place that says Academy. Speaking Academy, which with an orange background. Now in that orange background, and let me share my screen with you actually, so you are able to see it. Is this helpful, by the way, to have just a little bit of practical information, right? I'll share my screen. It's loading, guys. I'll share my screen already for when it loads. Basically, what you will notice is you will see this Speaking Academy format. And when you click on it, it will load. There we go. And then the first place you see is the gig. Now, for all the people who love preparation and love to really know what's going on, here are some amazing videos to watch. So you all are going to have your prep call if you didn't have it yet. And here you can see how that's going to be about and how you can best prepare for this. Long story short, you don't need to prepare anything. but I know some of you really want to know all these things, so you can check it out here. Then, right before we go on stage, you will be on a streaming platform. So if you want to know how that streaming platform works and how that goes about, this is a tech check. So you can see exactly what steps to go through. Then, right here, this is a recording of a live gig. So if you want to see exactly how this is going to work and how the introduction is going to go and how you can write your bio best, right? This is the place to see what it's going to be like. Now, if you have some questions, they are 100% written here. If you're like, no, I got a different one, then ask it in our WhatsApp group and we'll make sure it's going to be here for the next round. So we're always updating. So if you have any questions that are not here, feel free to ask them. Then what you're also going to get is you're going to get a one-on-one session where you're going to have feedback on your specific talk. So at some point, you're going to be able to record your talk and send it to us. If you don't know how to send it, this is how to upload a video and how to exactly do this. And then right here, I know that there's some people who are like, how do I do my lighting? What mic do I need? How do I do all of this? Then there's some product advice to have the best product and systems to make up that your setup is really beautiful. So basically, all there is to support you, to really make sure that you've got everything you need. If there's anything during this process that you feel you need to know, ask it. I'll either answer it right away, or I say, you got to trust the process, and then you can let it go. So you know that you're supported, you know that you don't need to know this right now, so you can let that go. Make sense? So the WhatsApp group is the place to have the interaction, the community, the place with all of us. And then in your email that you get every single week, you get the right information right at a time. So make sure you pay attention. There's always an orange round in front of the emails from the Academy. So if you're confused, if you don't have any information, just look for the orange round and you will get all of it in one place. Then last thing, who was already here yesterday? Some of you. Some of you I saw yesterday. You all have access to the Monday community calls as well. It's an extra bonus. It's not necessary, but you have access to it. So those calendar invitations are also sent to you. They're every single Monday. They're 60 minutes and they're with all the people that also graduated. So you also have access to those. Now, I know we're a little bit over time, but would it be cool to hear from Nilsa and Carolyn how they've experienced it, to share some, let's say, 3 pieces of advice by going through this journey? Because both Carolyn and Nilsa are in here for multiple rounds. They really go through it multiple times to go to their next level. So Nilsa, if you would have to share 3 pieces of advice to someone who's starting their journey right now, what would you say?
The first is to start the blueprint now. I've done this 6 times and I always leave it to the end. And then I realized that you need to start from the beginning because it's part of the process for you to be successful at the end. So that would be number 1. Number 2, we're all going to get nervous, but the more you practice, it starts dissipating and then you start realizing how important, the most important thing is to connect with your audience. So if you leave the fear behind and you convert the fear into excitement, it's all about the audience that you're trying to create the transformation. And I just believe in repetition is mastery. So I just continue to enroll here until I just continue to participate, because if you look at my first videos to where I am now, you see the growth. So I can attest that this academy works, but we need to do the work.
Yeah, beautiful. And for all of your information, when you go through the course, right, the epic keynote, the epic keynote course, then at the last section, you're going to see a lot of videos from people who went through the academy, and you're going to see their talk. Now, Nilsa's all the way at the top, because there's 3 that are highlighted. Now, if you want to be inspired, watch the first one, then the second, and then the third, and you're really going to see the development. So also don't compare someone's chapter 7 or 6 to your chapter 1, right? just know that there's always a next level, and that this path it will never end, right? It's always the next level. So beautiful things, and beautiful Nilsa, because how many steps did she share? 3. We always share 3. And what you want to train yourself is to always come up with 3 steps. So how I sometimes answer things is I say, okay, I have 3 reasons for that. And then I don't have 3 reasons, but I train my brain in the moment to come up always with 3. So it's a beautiful exercise for yourself as well. So I'm kind of putting you on the bus, but you did absolutely great. Carolyn, are you up for the task as well?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
are 3 things that you would advise anyone on this journey?
Yes, ma'am. Number 1, trust yourself. Trust Lori. Trust the process. Period. Nonstop. That's it. 2, go from fear to fearless to fun. And what's really interesting is that when I'm very fearful and I start, when I think I'm going to be worse, I'm actually, when I get on and Lori's talking to me, I know I'm all of a sudden, I try to change my mindset. Everything is about mindset. I change it to fun. Now, I'm not doing the job I want to do because I tend to send my script. But even when I'm doing my script, I'm having fun. And that's a huge win. Huge. Now I just need to change the other part.
Well done, Carolyn. Well done, Carolyn. So you got some tips from everybody. Are there any questions before we're gonna close out this Zoom and celebrate this beautiful October 14th, 2025, the best speaking academy ever in the history of the universe, how Tony Robbins would say it. Are there any questions? Not right now? That's beautiful. Now, oh, Sean.
It's not a question. I just want to say thank you for all of this. I appreciate this and looking forward to this 8-week journey with everybody. Thank you so much.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm really proud of all of you. I mean, everybody had to do something to be here, whether it's time, resources, trust in yourself, trust in us, right? You're here. And it is really a magical ride. And what I would love for you to do right now is when we close up this Zoom, I would love for you to record a video. For the people that were yesterday, it's going to be the same exercise. So you can do this twice a week. What I would love for you to do is in a video, answer 3 questions and then share it in our WhatsApp group. When it's Monday, we share it in the community WhatsApp group. When it's Tuesday, we share it in the Speaking Academy WhatsApp group. All right, so there's multiple groups. Question number 1. What was your biggest breakthrough or aha moment in this session? In other words, what did you learn? What did you really learn? What was an insight? Number 2. What are you committed to do before we see each other next? What are you committed to do before we see each other next? It's great to be inspired. I love that for you. But I wanted to see the results. So we got to do something. So what are you committed to do? And then last but not least, really, really important one. Really, really important one. I'm big on this one. Who feels that they're part of a group? They're not just an individual. You're not just talking to me or listening to me. You're part of something, right? Public speaking is a little scary for a lot of people. It's super cool that you're willing to lean into this. So number 3 is who in this group are you grateful for and why? Because I loved your framework, Carolyn, from fear to fearless to fun. When we connect with fun, when we connect with presence, when we connect with gratitude, like all of that fear disappears. And you don't know what a compliment to someone else is going to mean to them. So number 3 is who are you grateful for and why? You might make someone's day, someone's week, someone's month by just being seen for who they are. So when I close this Zoom, I would love to invite you to immediately get your phone and do it right away, because I know there's some people that don't. and I do it next Tuesday, 10 minutes before we go on. And then they're like, oh shit, I didn't do the homework. There's no homework. There's just exercises to get you to the results that you want to have. And this is a great practice to also not start all the way in week 7, but start right now creating your talk. This is going to build every single week. Watch the course, go through the steps, make sure you put in your bio, your photo, so you got everything prepared for that gig. And then we're going to see each other either next Monday or next Tuesday in this group again. Cool? Who's up to create that video right away? All right. See you all in the WhatsApp. Ciao for now.
Ciao, Bella.
Great class, Lori.